Okay, hello everybody. It's been a while since I've done a review. I was away from home for about 6 months. I live in Montreal right now, but I was born and raised in British Columbia on the other side of Canada along the west coast. And I went back to visit family with my fiance for a month and ended up being 6 months just because it's so beautiful there. And I hadn't really had a chance to get to know my parents in this way since I was maybe in my early teens. So it was a blessing. Anyways, I'm back here now, and the good news is I came back to a ton of unopened statues that arrived since I was gone. So I'm going to try and do something a little bit different and keep these videos shorter than normal, and we'll see how it goes. So to kick things off, let me just turn the camera around here. We're starting with the Prime 1 Gantz statues. They both arrived while I was gone. This is Reika and this is Anzu. As you can see, I mean, they're really small boxes. They're probably the smallest Prime 1 boxes I've ever received, just because I'm used to the 1/3 DC statues from them. But, you know, the boxes on the one side sort of have this, I don't know, the highlights. And on the other side is more of a what the actual statue looks like. Pretty nice. Prime 1 boxes are always nice. One thing I will note though is as other statue companies start to up their game when it comes to presentation, I feel like Prime 1 hasn't really learned or updated yet. You know, it still comes in this or they still come in this sort of styrofoam box, but it's just the tape along the edges are just messy and kind of a bit archaic in my opinion compared to a lot of the groups like XM Studios that come with the straps around it. Now PCS is using the straps, and it just adds a layer of professionalism that surprisingly is not coming with Prime 1 yet. Which is surprising for a Japanese company, to be honest. They're usually all about presentation. In any case, let's get to the statues. I'm going to do both these at the same time because they're obviously from the same anime and manga. I love Gantz. A friend of mine introduced me to the anime years and years ago, before it was a Netflix movie. And I loved it. It's a really cool premise. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I will say that it's gory, and as I'm sure you can tell from these statues, you know, a bit lewd and sexual at times. But that's one of the reasons why we love anime, isn't it? So I'll get right to the reviews. And again, I'm going to keep it relatively brief. I'll just go through the details of each. This is Anzu in typical Prime 1 fashion. The skin is second to none in terms of how they handled the skin tone and the texture. Really, really beautiful. Her face is great. The outfit is nicely sculpted. As you can see, it kind of has this texture. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. It's not really latex because you can see it has more texture than that. But if you come back a little bit, it looks sort of latexy, which I think probably the point. A lot of the outfit that they wear in the anime and manga is not on these versions of the characters. I'm sure intentionally there is some reference to, or I should say that this does come from, I believe it's a line or one of the series or one of the books in the series where they're like partially dressed. I've never seen it or read it, this part of it, the reference to the sort of like half naked versions of them, but I ain't complaining. They look good. It's kind of funny. I mean, it is what it is, but you know, Anzu is, I guess she's the ass girl because she's standing in a way that's really sort of sticking her ass out here, and Reika is obviously the boob girl, you know, tits and ass. But they look good together, and if you're into a little bit of a sexiness in your statue, they're obviously pretty damn awesome. So again, skin texture is great. There's not a whole lot to talk about when it comes to the outfit. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. They have these little nozzles on the outfit that when they start to get damaged, bleed blue. I don't know the whole story with them or the logic behind that, but you know, detail's nice. The boots have a really nice gloss to them, which stands out from the rest of the outfit. And then the bases are fairly straightforward. I haven't put the batteries in this one, but they do light up. I'll show you with Reika in a second here. So I'll just go around Anzu one more time and give you the full 360 view. Have a look at our assets, no pun intended. Forgive the mess in the background. As you can see, my significant other has not cleaned up her bags yet, or unpacked them, I should say. Okay, so that's Anzu. Let's go to, oh, one thing, actually, I'll wait till the end to bring this up. You can see she's missing a hand. That is for a reason. I'll mention it in a second. Here's Reika. I prefer Reika just strictly based on aesthetics, but that's subjective, of course. Her portrait is awesome. There's two versions of these. There's the serious face ones, and then there's the smiling ones. The smiling faces come with white panties, which, listen, I like a bit of lewdness in my statues, but it was kind of crossing the line for me. At least in the black panties, it kind of looks like it could be just part of the outfit or a bathing suit. But when it's white panties, it's like, you know, I'm that creep in his parents' basement with the porn statues at that point. So believe it or not, there is a spot where I will draw the line when it comes to my statues, my sexy statues. Again, highly detailed assets here. Her boobs are on point. Now, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to catch this on camera. No, you can't. You're just going to get a nice cleavage shot. But in there was a very tiny flaw in mine. And it's hard to see in the light, which is great. But when you have kind of spotlights on it, pointing down, which is probably how I will usually, or how I usually display them and how I will display this, it was a little bit more evident. I did contact Sideshow, which is where I got the statue from, and they unfortunately told me that there are no replacements. Their allotment of this statue is taken up, so I can just either accept a refund or accept some money back. I haven't decided how I'll go yet. Well, I'm not going to send her back. I'm not going to get a refund because I want the statue, but I'm hoping maybe I can send directly to Prime One and see what they say. So here's one of their badass guns. Here's her gun. The guns in Gantz are super cool. They do all sorts of different things. There's one that's kind of like a gravity gun that like crushes beasts with a gravity circle, for lack of a better explanation. But the gun looks pretty damn cool. Lots of detail there. Prime One is usually, honestly, their fit and finish is usually absolutely fantastic when it comes to their statues. Maybe not so much their boxing. The hair is really nicely done. Here's the base. Unlike some of the bigger statues that I have reviewed, I mean, there's not a ton to talk about here. If you're into this kind of thing, and if you like the anime or the manga, you're gonna like this. That's just all there is to it. Sexy girls, scantily clad, lots of tech. I'm starting to collect like this sort of aesthetic, kind of like a cyberpunk aesthetic collection of statues. So they're going to go well with that, and they also will fit with my anime line if I decide to put them there. Here's the light up feature. Probably doesn't really read on camera, but just know that it does have a light up feature. At night I tried it and it kind of illuminated her. I think I probably will never end up using it. But, you know, there they are. I think they're awesome, but they're definitely not going to be for everybody. Now here is what I was going to say about her. And this is a frustrating thing that I found with both statues. You know, usually Prime 1, I haven't had a lot of flaws with them. But again, I'm actually really glad you can't see it in this light, but there's a flaw right in her cleavage on Reika. And on Anzu, she's supposed to have this big gun in her hand. And let me just be careful here because I don't want to drop anything. But this goes right in here, okay? Now, it slides up. You can see that this pushes against the boob, so it's already starting to leave a mark there, which is fine if the gun is on. But the problem is this magnet sucks. So just a little bit of, look at that, just a little bit of tapping, and it just falls right off. That's freaking terrifying because that's a big, heavy piece. And if that falls, that breaks. There's no doubt about it. I'm not even going to leave it on there for now. I already contacted Prime 1 because I did order this one directly from them. And I'm hoping that they can provide me a replacement. But knowing their support, which is spotty at best, I'm not holding my breath. And if they don't, I'm not sure what I'm going to do about this. So my final thoughts are, you know, they look awesome. They're going to look really great with the other cyberpunk sexy girls that I have coming. Not from this line, but from other lines. But the quality issues, I mean, I have a pretty major quality issue with both of these, and that is disappointing. And that makes me think twice about ordering more Prime 1 stuff. Unfortunately, Prime 1 is the only group that's doing the 1/3 scale DC. Well, one of the main one that's doing the 1/3 DC stuff. So if I want that, I got to go through them. But I've had other people, or I've seen other people complain on forums about Prime 1's quality dipping, and I never really wanted to believe it, but this does make me wonder. They still make a fantastic statue aesthetically. Paint is awesome. Textures, everything's great, but man, I hope this isn't a trend with the quality. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for sitting through the review. I'll have a ton more coming since I have a lot of statues to unbox. Until then, have a good one.